We enter the weekend here in the Transformer world with a big drop, but before we dive into this Transformers Age of the Primes leak, we got some brand new Transformers 1 items that are hitting the Target stock rooms as we speak right now. Shout out to the Lord of Target himself, Cringe McCringle. He found some gift packs of Transformers 1 Mega Changers that look like to be some kind of Black Friday or holiday Target exclusive that we'll be seeing in the near future. The Mega Changers were pretty much what Titan Changers were with Rise of the Beasts and the Transformers Authentics line, these 12-inch simple transforming figures that we already got singular mass releases in all retailers through the Transformers 1 mainline. This gift set will come with all 4 releases thus far in one pack and will be at a price tag of $49.99 according to the internal Target listings of the computer. Considering that Mega Changers are $14.99 each and you're getting 4 of them, that pretty much puts it at $60 if you bought them all individually. So at $49.99, $50, you're saving $10 here with this gift set. So it probably might be some kind of Black Friday item or again a holiday item. But yeah, that's what's happening with that. We'll get more info as it develops if there is other Transformer 1 items that are hiding in the deep stock rooms. And again, Cringe McCringle, thank you again for the news on what's poppin' with that. So let's get into the big news today. The Chinese message board of Weibo dropped some factory leak images of what looks like our very first look at some Transformers Age of the Prime product. Now, before we get into it, let's do some breakdown of who potentially this could be and why it's a strong possibility this could be Prima Prime that we're looking at, as opposed to, let's say, Zeta Prime or what some other fans have been speculating. Currently, we have 7 listings for members of the original 13 from the Transformers Age of the Prime Wave 1 listings. We have a Tra-Gen Prime Deluxe Solus, so a Deluxe Class Solus Prime, a Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime, a Deluxe Class Micronus Prime, a Voyager Class Prima, a Voyager Class Alpha Trion, a Leader Class The Fallen Megatronus, and a Leader Class Onyx Prime. Now, this figure, from what we could already see, has a lot of joints, a lot of moving flaps, an opening chest, which already ignoring that opening chest, which would clearly indicate who this character is, it would not be something that's at a deluxe price point. With all of those parts, with all of that engineering, so that right away gets rid of Solus, Alchemist, and Micronus right off the bat. When you look at the leader classes, we've already seen the Fallen Megatronus, so that eliminates that. And an Onyx Prime character, in all honesty, would feature a much more Centaurian kind of look or a Beast kind of look, and it's definitely not rocking that there, so that right away eliminates our 2 leaders. That just leaves our 2 Voyagers, Alpha Trion and Prima, and well, it's pretty clear with that opening chest who this is, and it's definitely not Alpha Trion. We are indeed looking at Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager Class Prima Prime. Now, this is an early factory sample with no head, so don't judge it based on its colors. It's probably not going to be those colors. Factories do these all the time with testing molds and seeing how they handle the gating and the pouring of the mold and how plastics settle in it. And this is just some examples of that. And it's probably the primary reason how this got into the hands of somebody, because this was probably something that was going to be thrown out after the testing process and why it doesn't have a head. We've had this same story before with the Bludgeon, with the Trash Master, and way beyond when we had odd-colored factory leaks with no heads that looked nothing like the final product, especially color-wise. So one thing we are going to go on here is we're just going to be basing on what we could see. And of course, we're going to try to fix the transformation a little bit. It's a little mistransformed. So we're just going to fix those shoulders right there. And there we go. So first up, let's look at that chest area. So it clearly has an opening chest. There's a bottom hinge there with a pin for the chest to flap down, which is obviously going to have the Matrix of Leadership, since Prima Prime, in most versions of the original 13 lore, was the first carrier of that legendary artifact. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something going along those lines. Maybe he'll come with a Star Saber sword. Voyager class price point does have the budget to also feature an extra accessory like that. And maybe that, that Matrix will clip onto the Starsaber sword like historically it's been. Most of those Matrix molds that we've gotten in the past have that 3 to 5 millimeter peg on the back, so it'll probably attach to a sword or something like that. I'm pretty much betting on it at this point. The chest has a very, very Autobot emblem shape to it when you kind of like distort the color and everything. Really cementing that it's the beginning of this era of greatness and the beginning of the Autobots with Prima Prime. When you look at the back of his body, it's very clear that there's a large window or windshield that has more of a flat kind of connection to the larger engine bay and a parallel to it, which means that he's probably going to be some kind of truck or very big vehicle. The back of the legs even support that theory even more because the back of the legs support multiple sets of wheels here that are truncated a little bit, which means that he's either some kind of truck with a lot of multiple wheels that might be very similar to a Optimus Prime semi-truck maybe. In this case, maybe a Cybertronian big rig, maybe even. More in line to maybe say what, like a Siege Deluxe class Ironhide was in a lot of ways, just with more wheels because he was a Deluxe and this is a Voyager class. But something I imagine along those lines, I would see something like that. So indeed, this is some kind of big ground vehicle. And this is kind of crazy because this goes up against the entire concept of the original 13, because for many years it's always been kind of established that they didn't transform, that they were just these big Titan characters. But again, it's Transformer product. It has to have some kind of conversion element to it. So these guys are going to transform, and the leader of the beginning of everything is going to have some kind of big vehicle, almost Optimus Prime, big rig kind of Cybertronian transformation. And I guess it'll just represent those early days, from their creation and the battle against Unicron. And transformation was always a part of it, I guess, from day one. Not much else we could pull from this. But again, we do know that these factory leaks are now happening. The factory is firing on all cylinders and making this stuff. So probably more stuff will be coming forward over the next couple of days and, dare I say, couple of weeks. Let me know what you think about all of this. Looks pretty hype if you ask me. And indeed, Transformers Age of the Primes is indeed here. And tomorrow is the Transformer Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. We are going to be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow on Saturday night. We'll be talking about all the news we covered this week, any updates to any of the stuff we've already talked about. If as it happens, who knows what tomorrow will bring with all of this. And we'll also, we'll bring up some of the cool stuff that we had that last weekend in TFCon Baltimore. All the cool stuff we bought, all the cool stuff we saw, all the cool stuff we talked to and people and everything. A lot of cool things I want to show you guys that I picked up, and some gifts and everything. Shout outs to people, all the great people I got to see that weekend. So I hope to see you tomorrow for the live stream. And again, maybe take some super chat questions from you guys. And thanks again for listening to the Transformer Slag Podcast and being the greatest fans in the Transformer fandom. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.